Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden Night.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. On 1st and 10, Heath. That's Foster hauling it in over the middle. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. To throw on second down, Heath. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. He's going to float this one deep. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. On the run, it's Kelly. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends, because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cummings. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got a turnover? We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
Here we go now. 3-19.
On first down, Ryan. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter, because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Now it's Ryan. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Ryan. Throw left side complete. That's Cummings. And he'll go down at the 28. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And his kick is right there. It's good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 11 carries, 60 yards.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Give them 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Still 1st down.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. They'll run it now with Gray. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
But we just saw him run the football really effectively there with 3 tight ends in the game. And any defensive coordinator, when they see that set, if they can get more bodies out onto the field, not more than 11, of course, but bigger bodies to combat what they're going to do, because that's a run-heavy formation. Those guys are out there to block 9 times out of 10. And in this case, they did it really successfully.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. That second down run a big help as 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now. Operating from the gun. Heath throwing the out route incomplete. That's Reed. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Throwing on first down. Heath. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away. But it does get away and it's second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Time to run through the starters on the defensive side for Chicago. They enter play here, number 11, just outside the top 10 of the league in stopping the run.
And that play right there shows exactly why they're so good against the run. Held the line of scrimmage, held the point of attack, and stuffed him for no gain.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down.
Here we go.
From the gun, Heath. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
And penalty markers down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive.
Holding, receiving team.
Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They got to feel pretty good about that one.
So we got 3 on 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible. Hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Good work that time to get him to jump, and now here's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And Olsen over the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Pierce. And he's got this down to the 35. 18 yards the gain for number 18. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
And they'll run it here. And not much running room. Down to the 32. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
Early down stuffs have put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this game, has got to be priority one.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves him needing about 7 here on 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here's Ryan. He's thrown at about the 5. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. In for the score. And the Bears are in for 6.
And that drive we just saw that culminated in a touchdown, exactly what many offenses are looking for. Sustained ones that can impose their will on the other team.
Now the try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-3. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And now out comes Minnesota. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
Well, maybe he was going to be involved in that play from his tight end spot, and he jumped.
Yeah, don't tell me that those guys don't like to block. That's what we say about them nowadays in the NFL. But I think he thought he was one of the key pieces in that play and wanted to get out and execute the assignment very fast.
He gets this out to Foster on the right side. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
All right, here we go.
On the run, this is Gray. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Heath looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carroll. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
Hurry up, here we go.
Operating from the gun. Heath. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sat back at the 38.
How about have that one, the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was the strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. A gain of 6 there on first.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And he is the NFC reigning offensive player of the week. You got to think, all the guys that take the field each and every week, that's not an easy award. Always has to feel good to grab it.
It has to feel great because it separates you, at least for a week, amongst your peers. And for him to separate again, he has to have the same type of a game. That means being explosive off the line of scrimmage and catching everything that comes his way.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
And on the ground they go with the running back. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Pierce. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. This quarterback now 11 for 11. Perfect in this opening half. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, 90.
On third down, Ryan. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10.
Set. Green, 39. Green, 39.
From the gun, it's Ryan. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I absolutely love that play call there. They just came off of a big play. They've got momentum in their direction, and they come back and take the shot at the end zone. Just unable to complete it. I love their aggressiveness.
And you feel like the defense, a sigh of relief, could have been back-to-back really big plays. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal.
All right, here we go. Blue.
From the shotgun, Ryan. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the 1st half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, 90. Blue.
On 3rd and goal, Ryan. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Bears will extend their lead.
That score is not a game clincher by any stretch of the imagination, but the other team now has to be careful to not let this game begin to slip away.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that one a long 11-play drive, and the end result is a Bears touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down. Looking to throw. Heath over the middle, complete. It's Carroll. Now before the 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Green, 39.
To throw on 2nd down. Heath, and an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
Back to throw. Heath, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Second and 10 from the 33-yard line.
All right, here we go. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Second and 10 now. Ryan. Throw left side complete. That's Cummings. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
On 3rd and 1, Ryan. And it's caught. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Here's Ryan. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. In for the score, and the Bears will add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook, but even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is up to 18 now. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And shedding through the tackle. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we come upon halftime here at Soldier Field with the Bears out in front. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll begin our tour of the trip up to Toronto, Canada, and it's the Huskies who are out in front in that one. The Huskies still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Next, we'll head over to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. The Giants looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital, see what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And it was the visiting San Francisco 49ers that come in and get the victory. 20-10 was the final. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The return man is Hill. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Kelly on the counter, and this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
On second down, here's Ryan. And caught left side, Olsen. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here comes the Bears punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. To throw again. Heath. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding, offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
But these guys are going to chomp into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage would be found.
Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, line it. Blue.
From the gun, Heath looking deep downfield, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up fourth down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
Here we go now. Green.
On second down, Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Ferguson. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
The Bears on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Ryan. He goes full extension, and he's got it. They stop him after a gain of only 4, and that brings up 4th down.
Well, that kind of catch is supposed to pay off with at least a first down, isn't it?
Instead, he'll just add it to his highlight reel, but they don't pick up the first.
Yeah, he gets the yardage, he gets the catch, but now they have a decision to make.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Gray. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that the defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, that's 2 guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run. Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Throwing again. Heath. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. Looking to throw. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner. And I don't think with 3 scores down in the 3rd quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. 3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here's a 2nd and 7 now from their own 7. They'll keep it in the hands of Kelly. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20.
Set. Blue, landed.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he'll be dropped at the 30. A shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the 1st tackle. Luckily enough, there are more people there to get him down.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Play action. Ryan. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And we'll get a couple here down to the 22.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Pierce. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Here we go.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Kelly. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency. Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Still 2nd down.
Here's another 2nd and goal, this time from half the distance closer.
Now let's go. Blue landed.
Now Ryan. And it is caught. Touchdown, Bears. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bears will extend their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
The try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out comes Minnesota. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. On the ground, it's Gray. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. We're off to the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Heath. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. He may get a few more tacked on for good measure.
Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw on 2nd down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a 1st down. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Green, 39.
Back to throw. Heath. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards. Back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Operating from the gun. Heath. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
From the gun, Heath. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And this is incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bears will get the football back. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized. You know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw on 2nd down. Ryan, throw left side complete. That's Pierce. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. The Bears on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Now let's go. Blue landing.
They'll try and run for it with Kelly. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Well, we'll see what his offense can do. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Now let's go. Green, 39. Green.
To throw again. Heath. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Onto the field now come the Bears. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
They'll go again with Kelly. Oh, spinning away. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great effort there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Bears turn that interception into a touchdown. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. No going for two. They'll kick the point after. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. Nothing going right offensively.
False start, offense.
So from 2nd and 10, it'll now go to 2nd and 15. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15.
3-19. 3-19.
Operating from the gun. He stays on his feet. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
Automatic
And I always
first down.
enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
From the gun, Heath. That's Foster hauling it in over the middle. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it indeed.
Personal
Here come
foul.
the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter
Automatic
anymore
first down.
how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Operating from the gun. Heath. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a second down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Set! Green 39! Green 39! Hot!
Off the play fake. Heath. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
Looking to throw. Heath. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And this one is right through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. That's Jensen. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Let's go! Green 39!
They'll run it now out of the
Green
gun.
39!
And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Bears on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe. They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Set. Blue 90.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Heath, throw left side, complete to Foster. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A good pickup there of 22. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
First down. Heath finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he showcases the spin. A pretty good gain before he's taken down. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Heath, and the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Back to throw. Heath. And he gets this out to Foster on the right side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So that's the word from the referee. Neutral zone infraction, 5 yards.
First down.
And, of course, the defense is always pointing at the offense about how they drew them across. Flag goes against the defenders on that one.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
From the gun, Heath. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. A gain of 6 there on first.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. The Vikings on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 4.
Now let's go. Blue line it. Blue line.
Operating from the gun. Heath toward the pylon, caught. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Now let's go. 319. 319.
From the gun, Heath. And this is caught. Well, they get one back, picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point. Extra point forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And that will shave one more off this lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it's polished off by a Viking score. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is fully awake now. If he didn't get off to the start that he normally does, they've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? I think that's what went down. I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up, you think the game plan is working, but in the back of your head is that little bit of nagging doubt. Can we do this for 4 quarters? So far, that's not happening.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Bears, they continue to roll as the win gets them to 12-2 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. The Bears get the win at home as we say so long from Soldier Field.